Welcome back to some professional StarCraft 2, everyone's favorite matchup, and some of everyone's favorite players. Let me introduce, in the top right, the player who makes the best games all year and all decade. I give you the wall, D-Mawa. It's showtime. Yes, blasting his way through, well, holding the line to get this far to face off against one of North America's last hopes in this Dreamhack Atlanta tournament, the American Protoss, making quite a big splash. It's Astrea, well known for his advanced control. We'll see if he can control himself well enough to win a Protoss versus Protoss. I know I don't usually feature mirror matchups on the channel, but sometimes you get two of these players together, and this is going to be, by the way, probably the most common mirror matchups are Has versus Nice. That they're not playing the same game. I know technically that's Protoss versus... No, that is Has versus Nice. It's different. It is an entire different philosophy. It's a different religion. It's a different food group. And it's a different mindset. I expect Astrea is one of the best, if not the best, macro Protoss in North America. And Showtime is one of the best, if not the best, macro Protoss in the world. So, even though this is Protoss versus... Oh, he's proxying. Yeah, he's proxying. I think that's a Stargate. Oh, my God. Never mind. We're back. It's PvP. Get the guide out, Jimmy. Yep. What's it gonna be? What card's he gonna play? Stargate, right? No? Robo? He's faking Warp Gate. Oh, that has to... He's on... No, it's just a 3-gate. What am I doing? He only has one gas. Astrea with a... No, it's not even a 3-gate. That's his second gate. Oh, my. It's worse when players actually know what they're doing. Because right now, Showtime, he's counting those minerals. Well, maybe not literally, but figuratively. He knows there should be more than there is shown right now. With only one gas, that really does limit your options. But you're maximizing your minerals. And Showtime knows that something is out there. He just doesn't know how close out there is. Just on his front porch over here. He does not have vision of it. I'm here in the shadows. Well, he's got a sentry on the way. It's hard walled off. The Adept scours the wall. The Stalker gonna chase. So, Warp Gate on the way. The American Protoss here, off to a dramatic start. The wall, on the other hand, well, making it very literal so far. It's right there. Can he warp over the top? Oh, that's why. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, no. Yeah. Glory to the welcome. It's fine. I was just kidding. About that whole intro part, I really thought I would need more filler. But no, the Adepts are already inside the house. Oh, no. What a beautiful... He traps him next to the minerals. The other Adept is fine, but he jammed him up in against the minerals with the force field. But that really hasn't slowed down the damage much here. Some more at the front. Multiple shit. The probe's back. Oh, he just kills it. It dies in one volley. The shield batteries themselves under attack. Wait, chrono boost from Showtime. He does have energy for shield battery overcharge if he needs it. There's some warp-ins coming through. Quick warp-ins, because this is technically a warp gate. Wait, there's no Stalker. He loses a sentry. That pylon is incredibly important. There are more Stalkers for Astrea, but they're kind of dancing, juking and jiving at the edge of the ramp here. And Showtime, his wall is working against him as he has to file down in between the gateways and the Cyber Core, making a concave here. More Adepts gonna warp it on the side. The Defender's advantage is an illusion. It's a hallucination in this matchup. But, oh, wait a second. I might have lied as a shield battery overcharge comes through for Showtime. He's trying to keep that gateway intact. The Stalkers forcing that overcharge. The pylon under fire here. Once the overcharge is gone, the gateway should go down, but it may have bought Showtime enough time to show his defense. All right, the gateway lives with 6 HP. What madness! The Stalker's battling it out. Astrea has less, but he's warping in. He built another pylon in a safer location here. The Stalker count is 5-4. The German Protoss holding on. And somehow Showtime, despite having Adepts in his main, despite his Unnatural being broken, he's held. But we gotta ask ourselves that eternal question. At what cost? Astrea has not been slouching. He's up 12 workers. He's at 51. He's got a Twilight on the way. He's starting a Robo. Showtime already has Blink started. So, while this will be shut down, what's the gateway count? Astrea has 3 gates. It's going to be 2. That's one of them over there. Wants to build anything here. He's actually a little supply blocked, which is a surprising lack of foresight, because obviously those pylons weren't going to make it. But overall, Astrea, in getting... He's going to have the 3rd Nexus done, which means he's going to have access to Shield Battery Overcharge. It will already be ready by the time those Stalkers come across, even if they come across right now. And with only 2 gates, you don't really have enough production. You just can't put enough Stalkers on the field to overwhelm your opponent. Showtime gonna take the conservative route, gonna take a 3rd. Does he know about it? Like, this is actually an obscenely quick 3rd. This explains somewhat why Astrea's unit count was somewhat low. As he took his 3rd so quick, it's now done. And taking it this quickly has actually made it more safe than if he took it later, because he hasn't finished. Chrono Boost, Shield Battery Overcharge, all of that. We already went over that. Well, here, what's the Stalker count? So he has Blink and more Stalkers, but an Immortal shows up. That Shield Battery, incredibly important. Gonna eat a couple volleys. Blink's to the side. Blink is revealed. That Pylon as well. Showtime getting a little close here. Astrea's getting Blink. You can't be left without it. You know what they say, an eye for an eye is completely unrelated here, because we're blinking either way. And it doesn't take an observer to see you had no plan for the end of that sentence. But Astrea does have a plan for dealing with these Blink Stalkers, which is simply building more of them. He's going to have, he's got 3 gates. He's already got an Immortal out. He's sitting on a 10 probe lead, getting a 4th. What do we have here? Some Adepts warping in. Showtime not chancing any more Twilight tech. He gets the Observer. The Observer's keeping track of things, and that will allow Showtime the ability to blink up to the high ground. But guess what? Half a second. Astrea's got his blink done. He actually blinked a couple, or warped in a couple Stalkers forward. Probe scouting. Spotter pylons here. The Nexus itself under fire, but Showtime, Astrea blocks in. They're going to trade shots. But Astrea's going to get the better end of this. The tie here goes to the leader, and Astrea has more bases. He has more economy. Well, he had more economy, but guess what? Showtime says anyone can shade 2 Adepts in. It's really that easy. And indeed it is. He loses 9 probes. And suddenly Showtime is back in a worker lead. And I say back, but I don't know if he ever was until this point. This is... I love the difference here. Instead of just continuing doubling, tripling, quadrupling, quintupling down... are those the same? Was quintupling 5? It's 5, right? Either way, you got the idea. We're just mass expanding and daring the other player to do something about it. And this time, it was Astrea's turn to bite off a little more than he could chew. Blinking a little far forward, and Showtime just takes a few Stalkers out from under him. We got 4 Stalkers. Wow, for free. But what's the gateway count? Wow, the gateway count is very low for where we are in the game. I think both players realizing that. Astrea gonna slap down 4 more. He's only at 6, so going up to 10. Showtime adding 2 more, going up to 8. The economies are about to explode. We're on 4 bases. The main base is not mined out even. It's getting there, but it's not mined out, which is this is essentially max economy. This is the highest economy you're ever gonna get in PvP. So we're looking at dozens of gateway units plus tech. They're both going to be able to replace most of their army very quickly, since it's just Stalkers and maybe an Immortal or 2. It's just going to come down to who can win these brawls more decisively and turn that into a real advantage on the other side. And we see here, Astrea splitting his army. He knows where the Stalkers are. Showtime blinks out. He realizes he's in the danger zone and loses a couple Stalkers of his own. The maneuvering here. Wow, what? You can already tell this is going to be a good match. They both want to expand. They both want to macro it out, but neither is willing to let the other get away with it. I mean, Astrea did start with the proxy, but he was fully ready to work into a much more macro game. Robotics Bay for Showtime. The first one to reach towards those Raptors. Oh no, but the War Prism's on the wrong side of things, the Blanc. And suddenly it's Showtime, but the Blanc Stalkers, the counter Blanc, the Charge Lots come in, try to target down the Immortal, but he loses so many Stalkers in the process, the Charge Lots have to file across the Stalkers, which were in the way of all this. So at the end of the day, we gotta look at the trades. Astrea gets 14 Stalkers, shift blanking up to the high ground. He gets 6 Zealots with it. In fact, some of the Stalkers didn't quite make it there, a bit awkward on the shift blink. A recall on top of everything. The ultimate blink. He warps in. Immortals on point. 1 shot, 1 kill. Stalker taking the wrong path. Cut down. Oh my. Throughout all this, Astrea's had an upgrade advantage as well. He's had that +2, which is only now going to be equaled by Showtime with +2 himself. +3 attack is already on the way. Another Prism. Let's look at that gateway count. 10-9 in favor of the American. But the Robotics Bay, the Disruptors are the biggest danger. And the Disruptors can turn the tides with a single hit. Kill 10 Stalkers, beta blank, or even just zoning out the Stalkers and forcing them into a bad fight. Astrea is sitting on 48 blink Stalkers. That's it. That's the whole army. And we'll see. That shield battery overcharge. What are you going to shield? Just chucking through the sheer girth of this army. The Charge Lot's trying to find some surface area. Half the Stalkers are protected by the other Stalkers, but Showtime, the Charge Lot's quite efficient here. It looks like the Disruptor was spotted, and that does force a tactical withdrawal from Astrea. Oh. Looks like maybe a select army there. A very optimistic warp in on that 2 HP pylon. Showtime realizes. The Dark Shrine at exactly the same time on both sides. Astrea isn't even going for Disruptors. He's still going mass units. Showtime's Disruptor is not participating in this battle here. I don't know what he's waiting for. Astrea blinks away. Oh god, my voice is never going to survive this. I never know with the Disruptor games because it's so much of like, there's half a second or less than half a second, and either they blink or they don't. And like, what do you want? What do you want me to say? There's nothing, like, we don't know. A recall, trying to save the base, and just in time, well, at least the recall comes off, which means he's going to be able to clean up these Zealots, but he does lose the Nexus. All right. Scouting Stalker, we'll very generously say. Meanwhile, the Disruptor count is only 3, and they can't be everywhere at once. And, well, now the Disruptor count is down to 1. He just blinked in. Uh-oh, watch out, center mass, direct hit. And Astrea loses a chunk of Stalkers, but he gets the rest of the Raptors, which means those are off the table right now. Oh, he didn't cancel the warping. There's a few sentries here, not using any of their abilities. Astrea taking some losses on both sides, though he'll maintain a supply lead. He'll blink in to try to compound his advantage, and compound he will. Compounding all the way into the probes, the warping on the back line. Some Dark Templar have showed up to the battle, but guess what? The Observer is still intact. No Observer for Showtime. Astrea up in army supply and workers right now. He's also got +3 to +2. Showtime is battling with less units against someone who already has detection. If things don't change quickly for the German Protoss, it looks like Astrea will be taking game 1. All the momentum is headed his direction. He's got the upgrades, about to have +1 shields, which is the follow-up for Showtime. The one scenario of getting +1 shields before armor. DT Blink is on the way. Astrea just needs to play somewhat careful, make sure he doesn't overcommit, get caught by a Ruptor, or caught without detection, and he can lock this down, as he's now at a 5th base. He's got, I've never seen 90 probes. It's been so long in PvP. Oh my god, he has 90 probes in PvP. Madness. Meanwhile, DT's chasing DT's. But the DTs of Astrea can't see the DTs of Showtime because they're on a different quantum phase wavelength. And only observers have the correct resonance frequency in order to reveal those wavelengths. Please subscribe to my seminar for more knowledge. Shields level 1 complete. That one Raptor looking real dangerous right now, but it's the only thing here. Showtime has to be very careful with when he uses it. And, well, looks like we got more Invisiboy fights. Wait, who can see who is the question. Wait, do they both have observer? I don't know. They, okay. Cloak and Dagger. Astrea's maxed. It's time to make a move. He doesn't have anything that gets better with time. He's not building up a better army composition. He's not going into another level of tech. He's maxed out. It's time to go. He's adding on the Robotics Bay himself, plus 2 shields. Blink! DTs! Everything blinks. What's that? Speaking of, what's the recall cooldown? Everybody has recall up? Yeah, Astrea has recall. We're all good. Something of a base trade. Looks like it's shaping up here. A bunch of cannons on the back line. The observer is being targeted, but the cannons will provide detection. The observer's still intact. Down goes the base. Meanwhile, Showtime on the other side. Base trading. The DT is slicing into each other, but the base isn't done, so no overcharge. Zealot warped in. A bit of a mess here. The Stalker's still going to work, though less focused than Astrea's, who've already taken out a second Nexus. Looks like the cannon's not nearly enough to stop that amount of Dark Templar Stalker damage. Another Nexus. Another couple volleys. Another base dead. Showtime making the most of it. He's going to take out a Nexus in turn. 11, all the probes are... Well, everybody getting supply blocked right up until the probes are slaughtered here, which is, well, very quickly. The army supplies are not looking great for Dimao. The Dark Shrine being re-shielded, but oh my god, he just blunks in. There's an observer with all this. The shield batteries from the early defense are now easily picked apart by the late game army. There are disruptors here, which it's getting dicier and harder to see a situation where those are going to make the difference. I mean, oh my, disruptor shots. The curve is good. Those disruptors are everything. 3 of them. Pretty healthy number. That's an Astrea base. Are we going for an actual, like, elimination? Come on, guys. What are we doing? It appears Astrea is going for the literal destroy all his buildings strategy, which is not the most unexpected way for this game to end, but is close. The probes are on the other side of the map. The army supplies are actually getting a little closer to even because the disruptor shaved off all the defenses. And it's still 3 disruptors and the DTs. He's got to be very careful, though he was building double Robo Observer on the other side. So he's taking those DTs very seriously, even if there are only 4 left. Ruptor fires a shot, forces the blink. He will successfully protect. Somehow they both still have 40 workers, though that's about to change. I don't know how they've maintained actual economies. Well, 1 DT also trying to make that less true. Recall is not really an option. 1, because it's on cooldown, and 2, because it's suicide in this scenario. That Nexus should die. 5 DTs. Astrea's Dark Templar or his Dark Shrine are still... It's still an option. Very much so. Very obviously. Oh my god. The Cloak Boys, though. I mean, he's down to single-digit buildings here, pretty much. Oh no, the probes. Astrea... But he doesn't... Where's your observer? The DT cancels the base. Astrea's at 75 minerals, and he's not mining. Oh, the recall! No! Canceled! No, it's too late! Oh, no! He had enough for another Nexus, but... Oh, he used the recall, which means it's on cooldown. The Disruptors were sniped. He was trying to recall them. They got caught behind, and the Disruptors, which an entire... The dream was built on those Ruptors. And now the dream is 2/3 dead. I'm sure we all feel 2/3 dead inside some days, but hopefully this series is making you feel a little more alive. Like and subscribe. Well, DTs get sniped off, but one disruptor is all that stands. It's a very optimistic Ruptor. There's just way less stalkers. He's blunking forward, trying to take a good fight. Even the probes are getting in on the action. He's trying to wait out the blinks, but Astrea's not offering a target. Astrea is now leading in mining by his long-distance mining with 30 probes. There's one there it goes. It's gone. It's over. The dream is dead entirely. No amount of blink micro is getting you out of this one. Astrea takes game 1 in dramatic fashion. What? Okay, so that started with the old warp in over the top into the back of their base strat. And somehow only got more exciting from there. This is what happens when two macro Protoss play PvP. Alright. I love how Astrea actually had a follow-up. Going to Cosmics. Game 2. Like, his follow-up wasn't, I don't know, Dark Shrine. His follow-up was take a quick third. I hate to say it, but Showtime once again proving he is the Rocky of StarCraft. He is the best at getting punched in the face repeatedly and eventually losing. Though obviously he didn't lose the entire time if he got this far, so. And it's hard not to root for him in pretty much anything. Let's see. I don't want to clean sweep. Of course, I want to see Astrea do well. It's been a long time coming. I remember, you know how much Astrea has improved as a player since Legacy of the Void? I remember in the first years of Legacy of the Void, I played him on the ladder. And I'm just going to leave that there. For whatever, let's hopefully complimentary comparison that is. But it is no longer a risk. Let's just say nowadays I'd accuse him of some smurfing. As he's most of the time playing on Korea and the GSL. What are we gonna see? What is this? This is the classic. These are such obvious pylon locations, yet they still. This map has so much space to just jam. You have to really rally your probes, because in SC2, it's kind of unique in RTS. Your units are not dumb. They will take the shortest path, though occasionally they will not. They'll take as the crow flies, not the queen, very importantly, but the crow. So they will take the shortest path to get to their target. They won't factor in movement speed changes like creep, but that is irrelevant here, of course. What that means is there are a lot of spots of maps that if you just right-click to another base or something, they'll just miss. Those are spots on the map that players like these diligent Protoss have mapped out on both sides for both reasons, and he's found it. Showtime sees the pylon. But is the pylon for anything? Thank you for answering my question so concisely and quickly, Astrea. Yep, third gate blink. It's going to be a blink pressure. I hesitate to say all in, but the longer he goes without expanding himself, as Showtime opts for the Stargate instead, the more all in it becomes. Of course, There's so many ways to even out that worker count to take back the advantage. Essentially, unless the Nexus outright dies or Astrea loses all his probes to an Oracle, really. We'll see where Showtime goes with the Oracle. Astrea's actually in position to spot anything coming out of the base. Pre-warping, and once the gateway finishes and starts to go to a warp gate, it warps and speeds up the warping on those stalkers there. We're going to start battling it out. He's got... Wait, did Showtime not see the second proxy? Astrea, a dastardly move, but an effective one. And that battery ain't done. Well, it looks like it'll finish up just in time. More stalkers on the way. If you have enough stalkers, you can just burn through. Oh, what? Stop right there! Stop right there! No! Showtime adapts. He was going to go for the probes. He sees that battery's going to stop him, so he's going to stop those probes the entire mineral line. Oh my god. Oh my god. To the moon. You don't just have... It's not about killing your opponent. It's just about freezing them long enough to take a huge income advantage. And now he's got 2 oracles burning through the battery, eviscerating the mineral line with those pulsar beams. Showtime having his way with Astrea's 1 base, while he holds on to 2. He's pre-pulled probes. He's pre-pulled probes to deal with the blink, because he's saying, I have these oracles. They're not dead. Either you have to keep stalkers pinned back at your base, or I can come in and keep killing probes. I just need to live. I must live. And I love the commitment with which he is reinforcing that vitality. The probes are pulled. Oh, the blunk forward. He knew. Shield battery overcharge. The oracles are halfway across the map despite the recall. The probes are boxing out the stalkers. They have to blink over the top. They can't be used to micro away, but there's still way more stalkers from Astrea. That Immortal's going to be so important. The shield battery overcharge. There's just not enough stalkers. Astrea, that Immortal pops out, a heartbreaker, and guess what? One of the oracles goes down. Have enough probes died? Not even remotely. Astrea did a great job targeting. He did a great job targeting, and he actually managed to pick out the stalkers from the fight really well despite the overcharge. So it's not over yet. Though, Showtime, if he didn't have those probes pulled, he dies there. It seemed like maybe a bit much, or just... No. If he didn't have those probes forcing the stalkers to keep microing and blinking, he dies. I think we can say that decisively now, with how close it was, even with the probes. If the oracles were back at home, who knows? But one of the oracles got sniped off. The Nexus itself is under fire. We're going to keep going back and forth. You got to be very careful with that Immortal, especially with the barrier on cooldown. No, watch out. He gets it. He gets it. All right. He got the Oracle at the last possible second. Split second. Millisecond. Imperial second. American second. He got it. And he stopped the stasis, and that means all the stalkers can come across the map. All right, well, Showtime, he doesn't have anything on the low ground, but he does have 2 Immortals. 2 Immortals. And that is significantly more than 1 Immortal. He blunks on 1. He's going for the second. It has the barrier, burns through it, but the stalker count isn't there. It's not there. He goes back to the shield batteries. Blunking back. It's already too late. Alright, wait. Oh, it's Showtime! He shuts the door in his face! He closes it! And now he has to go behind the mineral line. Once the shield battery finishes, Astrea knows how bad it's gonna get, but he's gonna blunk over the top. He kills he's in the vein! Alright, you got it. Alright. The stalkers recalled out. He's gonna lose 1, maybe 2. No, gets away. GG, tied up. Showtime holds the line. All 2 stalkers can come across the map. I don't usually engage Twitch chat, but are you telling me that 2 stalkers didn't make a difference in that battle? You saying 2 stalkers in a 6 versus 8 stalker battle does not make a difference? Like 2 stalkers. 2 stalkers is 25% of his goddamn stalkers. 2 stalkers. All tied up. Showtime on the ragged edge of holding. The stasis, the probe pull, the nexus hold, the immortal saves. There were half a dozen times that could have gone wrong. Astrea, of course, just pounding on the door, waiting to see if Showtime will slip just enough to get a stalker through it. All I'm saying, when you said everything, it sounded like a lot, but it was a little... Are you telling me that both the mental anchor that is having an Oracle alive, as well as having any amount of stalkers on the other side of the map, is not a lot? Is not a significant portion that does not make the difference between potentially one-shotting stalkers through a shield battery or killing immortals in 2 valleys or not? Because that's the difference with 2 more stalkers. That's the difference with not having to go look back at your base constantly. That's the difference with being able to have your probes comfortably mined and focus on your blink micro just a little bit more to be able to cut through. It is everything. Even if it's a little, it's a lot. Welcome to StarCraft. The little things are the big things. Okay, and we're not compensating. We're overestimating. We're underestimating. Whatever makes it sound more important. I lost track of it at the end there, but most of it was right. Like and subscribe. Whatever sounds the best. Protoss versus Protoss. We're both making zealots because we're finally on a map with a ramp leading up to the high ground. And what does that mean? It means it's just that much little bit harder to be super annoying. And that means now we're going to pylon block. No, it's not going to be like a cyber core block or a proxy nexus or something you might see in a Has game, but neither player interested in trying to make the difference. Are you accusing me of overhyping the game? Okay, I've never been accused. I value my proportional commentary. And whenever an American player gets an advantage, there is no such thing as underestimating that advantage. All right. And that is a science fact. Can I get a hell yeah, brother, in the comments? Oracle, wait, there was still a probe around. Confirms the Oracle, I guess, in the most dramatic way possible. That's a fake Phoenix. A hallucinated Phoenix. And it's not really a Phoenix so much as a scouting tool. This is going to... I have a feeling... I don't know how these games go, alright? Like, I know a general idea. I cast some of DreamHack. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you haven't yet, go check out Scarlet vs. Nightmare and Hero of Marine vs. Showtime. Those were my favorite matches I cast. I had a lot of fun with those. And they were really good matches. In fact, I believe Showtime beat Big Gabe to get here. Though no, that's not accurate. That was the group stage. Somehow they got in the same group. That was a great match. Always is. Okay, so the Zealot now getting bullied by the Adept, who's just like, I'm just a better version of you. I can move faster, I have range, I actually do bonus damage against you. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, but I don't cost any gas. 25 gas? Psh, I can find that under my couch simulators. Showtime has a proxy pylon. He's slapping down a gate. It looks like he's going to try some 2-base aggression here, though I'm not sure how committed. All right. 2 oracles. How many probes? He's killed 2 probes. One on the other side and the zealot. I was hoping I didn't miss anything. I don't think I did. 3rd base for Showtime. I mean, having a proxy gate with a super pylon there. And it's called a super pylon, all right? The fast warpins, they're called super pylons. It's not warp conduit or fast warpin. No, super pylon. That's the name. Don't dispute me on that. That's another science fact. Astrea kind of bungling the blinks here. As one of the stalkers, 2 of the stalkers actually caught on the wrong side of things. Where are you going? Oh my, he's distracted by the adepts. So he's gonna lose a few stalkers. Astrea definitely getting the worst end of this, though he didn't realize till we got closer to the end of it. Showtime just keeps adding stasis wards all over the place. He's chasing down Astrea's stalkers. What is the stalker count? Astrea does have a slight advantage. Oh my god, he has to see that. Yeah, well, he has an observer, so definitely sees it. More stalkers warping in. Threatening the main, where the Twilight is, actually. An interesting place to put a Twilight. Blanc's in. Astrea is being careful about using his blink too early, because he wants to use it to micro back and take the most efficient fight possible. Still a stasis over there. Showtime only doing superficial damage so far. Blanc's over to the side, but it's getting dicier. Oh, Astrea has an immortal here. And with the stalkers filing down, Showtime's gonna have to get out. Like, this stasis is a lot. Yeah, he sees it. Oh my god, is he? I thought he was gonna. Technically, you can blink out. There's actually an activation time you can blink out of. Revelation kills the observer. But, good luck. Even on the custom near land servers they use for tournaments with 5 ping, good luck. Actually, wait, they're not on a land server. How could I have cast it from not Atlanta? That wasn't a land server. Okay, or Sweden. So, just like regular NA server, but to like 15. Well, stalkers are kind of just like Showtime's have been patrolling out here. Like, how he has killed it. It really, really feels like more than 7 stalkers have died this game. There's been a lot of damage dealt, but it truly feels like way more than 7 stalkers have died. But these players are so careful with their units. That is probably not the best path for the Warp Prism. Warp Prism would tend to agree. Yeah, well, that was definitely a creative way to lose a Warp Prism. Charge finishing. Where are we at now? We got 70 to 69 workers. Nice and out for both sides. We got 55 to 52 army supply. The Astrea has finished +1 attack. Showtime is 8 seconds out, and that does matter a lot for these battles. That'll kind of fudge the numbers. Like, if you have 4 or 5 less stalkers, you can probably win the fight with an upgrade advantage. And it'll make it much harder if you're on the losing end of the numbers. These observers from Astrea, like, look at the map vision here. Astrea, he knows. Can we go to... Yeah, Showtime's actually in the dark. He's just sharking around, but Astrea already knows where he's going. One of these fights, Showtime's gonna blink one blink too far. And that's when things get real dicey. He hasn't really put a lot of effort into denying vision. He hasn't been bringing observers with his army. Nope. That is not what I meant by observers. I've been with your army the whole time, Showtime. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count like that. Oh, the blunk forward. Astrea wanted to jump it. He's 8 seconds out. He wants to pick a fight right now. This is the best time to fight. He just finished +2. He knows he has the upgrade advantage. Everybody just kind of wandering into it. Blanc's in, tries to take the sidestep. Astrea lost a few probes on the other side to oracles, but he has the upgrade advantage. He has Guardian Shield on that sentry. That is the most valuable sentry. He uses that Guardian Shield. -2 range damage to everyone there. Yeah, I don't think that's the ideal rally point for those probes. I brought you some gas! Oh, Jonathan. Oh my god. Call me Johnny! No. Well, some interesting blunks all over the place here. Showtime managed to file his stalkers over to the right side of the Nexus. We got a huge amount of charge slots warped in by Showtime. What's the gateway count? 9 to 10. Astrea has a slight advantage, but he's not able to find an angle. There should be a Guardian Shield ready. A lot of Zealots, I believe they were spotted by Astrea, who kind of realizes, well, yeah, something's coming. There's a lot of Archons making a cameo appearance. Showtime's at 39 Stalkers in kind of a reverse of Game 1. We got 39 Stalkers and 19 charge lots up against 21 charge lots, a couple of Immortals, a couple of Archons, some DTs, Stalkers, Prism, and that very, very important sentry. We're maxed out. Showtime looking to hold the bridge. These bridges always a dramatic point here on Tropical Sacrifice. The DTs will blink away. The charge lots will go the other way upon realizing there were DTs. Rocks broken to open up another angle of attack for Astrea. +3 attack in the upgrades column in production. Not again. No, don't do it again. Yeah, Showtime's coming back. He's not going to try to base trade this. But there goes the Nexus. He's going to start the fight. One Nexus less. Guardian Shield activated. Alright, it's like peacock feathers. He's like, let's go! Come at me, bro! And that's the Guardian Shield indicating it's fighting time. A bunch of observers here. It looks like Showtime still has 2 to Astrea's 1. The charge lot's trying to close in. Astrea's army about to get flanked here. He still has the Archons to try to hold the line. DT's being warped in. No more Guardian Shield. Few more charge lots. Down to 1 Immortal. Slipping to the left side. And overall, Showtime not able to break through Astrea in this fight. In 3 seconds, +3 attack will finish. There goes the Prism, though. The Immortal in a far less than ideal spot. Has 5 HP left. He's gonna get it. Might lose a Stalker or 2 for it. Showtime chasing. Supplies dwindling. A couple Disruptor. We've just done a full role reversal here. It is now Showtime who's doing the mass Stalker plays, whereas it is Astrea with the heavy Robotech. Oh, there was still an Oracle. What a convenient defense for the Dark Templar. Did Showtime just remember that? The Oracle's still here. Welcome back. I mean, it might have been trying to get stuff done, but I doubt it if it survived this long. Just hanging out. Meanwhile, these chonky armies. Here comes Astrea, though. He's got a Disruptor, and he's raring to use it. +3 weapons evens things up. Revelation clears up the Dark Templar. Meanwhile, another army. Disruptor shot. Blunks forward. Buddies point blank. And guess what? Another Disruptor wandering into the fight. Showtime, shield battery overcharge. Only loses 1 Stalker to the Disruptor hit. The Observer's about to be taken out, which opens up the opportunity for DTs, but not quite yet. Another Disruptor is wandering in. The blink forward means he can't blink back, but it doesn't matter. Wait, who's blanking who? Another Disruptor. Oh, he blinks and kills it in time. Showtime is chasing the army across the bridge. And he has enough Observers to do so. Okay. It looks like Showtime winning at every turn of that fight. Not by much, not by enough to turn the entire game, but enough to now be the aggressor. And Astrea is going to have to pop his own shield battery overcharge and work on defense. Gravitic boosters, done. The Observer speed upgrade is the kind of game we're having. And one of the most important upgrades right now, being able to chase down your opponent's observers, potentially open up an opportunity for Dark Templar, or to prevent them. Meanwhile, Astrea wielding that extra economic advantage. A recall. Oh, just in time, but was it? Because now the Stalkers are instantaneously surrounded. They're going to get chased down. Well, more Stalkers from Astrea on the right flank. Showtime might have outmaneuvered himself with that recall. Oh, a couple DTs getting caught, but it's +3/+1. Astrea, what is the gateway count? We're at 12 gates. Showtime has 14, but can he support it? Oh my god, look at the income tag. After losing those Nexi, it's not going to get any better. Astrea has held firmly to his bases, whereas Showtime, they're slipping. The income is really telling the story. Showtime is playing a high-income unit composition with a low-income probe count. He doesn't have the mining locations nor the workers to support this. He needs either more efficient units, he's getting disruptors, or something else needs to change. Well, the disruptors are wandering up, trying to zone out the Stalkers preemptively. Will do so successfully. That pylon going to be targeted down, and most of the shield batteries with it. Just Stalkers to defend. Blocks forward, gets a Ruptor, gets a second, and gets surrounded simultaneously. 15 probes down. The Stalkers get the Ruptors, but the Stalkers get blunked upon. He gets away just barely, but at what cost? Astrea maintaining a 60 supply lead. He might not kill the base. He might not kill the entire economy, but he's gonna kill the main brunt of the army. The disruptor battle will continue. Shots fired. They curve into each other. Showtime fires back. He finally lands something. But it's not going to change the trajectory of the game. Astrea still has more bases. Astrea still has a better army with better upgrades. And Showtime is still one bad fight away from defeat. The observer count, do they both have gravitic? No. Warp Prism and Observer Speed for Astrea. He's got 94 probes, which actually is a detriment because that means his max army supply is only 105. And he can't overwhelm Showtime, who has the same army supply despite being at 150. Now, eventually he could grind him down. And that eventually might be very quick here. Showtime down to 123. Astrea struggling to get below 200. The just economic hammer being wielded here. Point blank, disruptors targeted. Showtime gonna win this fight, it looks like. There was a stasis ward. Another Ruptor shot. Does he have blink up? Indeed he does. Blinks back. Showtime holding. But again, at what cost? 2,400. Oh no. This is economics right now. Violent. Explosive. Economics.
The numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
Right now, Showtime does not have the ability to sustain these fights. Astrea is crushing him in the quarterly reports. And at this point, more disruptors on the... It's going to take a big mistake out of Astrea to turn them. These fights are crazy now. Like, it's like direct strike fights they're having. If they didn't have to mine minerals, these are the fights that, like... Showtime knows he's on the ropes. Like, he's trying, but Astrea is all over the map. Like, look at this. How many I can't count that high. I'm running out of fingers. He's got his entire side of the map, and he's working on more. He's already taken out the Nexus. He's isolating another base. Here comes Showtime. Firing disruptors into probes. Always a good sign. Showtime with... Okay, this is a much less... The base trading game one was optimistic. This is just... Yeah. It's worse. What a game. And I thought, like, oh my. losing over 50k resources apiece in 20 minutes. 140 zealots, 100 zealots, dozens of... Astrea lost 14 disruptors, 75 stalkers. Oh, wow. Astrea just crushed him economically and is now just a single game away from crushing him in every way. While that was a great fight, it wasn't back and forth. Astrea took the advantage once, essentially with the 4th base, and Showtime was never able to really tilt it back his way. Well, I like how Astrea implemented... Jimmy, can you... Nobody cares. Astrea took the best parts of Showtime's style from Game 1. I mean, it might be a little much to say Showtime style of, building disruptors, but he played with a similar style, but he improved it. He improved on it just by really asserting map control. We're on Moondance, which I expect shenanigans. This map is considered to be quite defensive, but it's PvP, so... Don't sleep on gravitic boosters. Don't make me start this again. Like, tell me 2 stalkers are not a huge deal. Gravitic boosters, especially if you're the DT player, Showtime had to spend so much time both microing his Oracle and babysitting his observers. That is an APM sink right there. Like, the part of the value and part of the reason he was able to keep up such map control was controlling the vision. You saw from the very start, the observers from Astrea essentially saw each of the bridges. They saw the entire area where Showtime could be moving his stalkers. And that allowed Astrea, even though Showtime felt like he was making progress, Astrea just kind of gave up parts of the map and let Showtime blink his stalkers around. He never got anything meaningful because Astrea saw everything before it was already happening. Knowledge is power, and Astrea was feeling very powerful in that last game. Alright. What are we up to? This has been... I'm so happy to see PvP be an actual game. Maybe it's because of the games I choose, but like... It is refreshing. I hope you guys enjoy the commentary. Smash that like button. You got a moment as these macro madmen are building sentries, which means we're going to actually have some filler time here in the early game. Rare in PvP. Not rare in Protoss versus Zerg. I'm still complaining. But in this matchup, they're both leaning on the constant hallucination scouts and probably eventually, well, not so eventually, but relatively quickly blink, but we'll see. Proxy pylon, but I can't imagine that's for anything more than options later on. Maybe a couple of depths warped in. You see, this is my selfish... I'm glad I didn't choose this match to cast live. I ended up casting Sue versus... or Solar versus Creator, which I'm going to go ahead and spoil for you. Was super disappointing. I don't know what happened, but Creator just did not show up to that match. And it was just like 30 minutes of sitting there wondering when Creator would start playing. I've spoiled it for you. He just kind of sat there and eventually died when Sue overwhelmed him every game. 3-0. Like, it wasn't like a back... No, it was 3-0. It was just a clean 3-0. Ugh. And that was after he 3-0'd Sue in Zerg versus Protoss, which was so confusing. Either way, I'm still confused. But bad food truck, probably, or something like that. There's like an hour between the series. We'll blame it on that. Well, I said we weren't going to see too much aggression, but here we go. Force fields don't discriminate. All right. Well, I know I'm supposed to commentate, but I kind of just felt like we'd let that play out. Because they're both hitting each other with, like, pool noodles here. With a handful of stalkers and some sentries. So the end result is Showtime kills 3 more stalkers. Astrea kills 3 probes. I think, well, on paper this favors Showtime. But, is there a but? Wait. Well, Astrea's taken his 3rd. He's already got a robo done. He's not going blink. He doesn't even have a twilight. He's just relying on immortals. He's taken the back base as well. The 6 instead of 8 and then only 1 gas base. The light base. It's essentially the diet base. So he's going to rely on immortals. The big risk is, of course, blinks into the main. Oh, well, you can always rely on 2 adepts. 2 adepts. Oh, he does have the pylon, or the probe in the wall. So Showtime won't be taking critical damage here. It will be quite annoying. And he does have to use a recall, which removes a lot of the map control that he did have with that quicker blink. When you have the quicker blink, you're supposed to be able to run the table. Like, the map is yours until they get blink. Or something equivalent, like maybe Stargate units even, but he actually used his recall to chase down 2 adepts, which can't feel great. Well, okay, so that's like 7 stalkers. It is like 7 stalkers because it is 7 stalkers. 2 immortals is, it's just gonna be a no. All right, 2. You maybe you look at them and then you blink as quick as possible. Yeah. And it wasn't quick enough. He lost 1. A Dark Shrine on the way for Astrea. He's going straight to charge. This is a very brute force style here. He's working off that slightly quicker base, a bit of a probe advantage. And he's trying to skip the blink, which, if Showtime just lets him get away with it, pound for pound, cost for cost, Charge Lot Immortal is going to beat Charge Lot Stalker. I mean, Immortal Stalker, rather, not Charge Lot Stalker. Well, no, Stalkers, by the way. Stalkers just don't do great damage to the charge lots, especially not on a cost-for-cost basis. Only 100 minerals versus 150 and 50 gap. Showtime has not used... He hasn't really done anything with his blink. He hasn't delayed any bases. He hasn't threatened the main. So Astrea is getting away with it, is the summary. He's got DTs now. Oh no. Is there even an observer? There is, but it's nowhere close. There's a bunch of shield batteries. He was expecting the charge lot all in. Oh no. Oh god, he has to recall an observer, I bet. Oh god. Okay, there was an observer with that. Oh no, not like this. He's in all the base. Oh, it's an absolute disaster. Oh, not that pylon. That one's important. No! No! Okay, well, he saves it, I guess, but... Beautifully done and disgustingly done by Astrea. Both can be true. Sometimes the best Protoss is the disgusting Protoss. They both have 4 bases, yet DTs have killed 27 probes. Showtime slipped a little on the detection, and Astrea slipped through. And Astrea's at 82 probes. Like, once again, well, I don't know where you go from here. The problem with the game that they're playing, this high economy game, is there's not gonna be any sort of advantage. Like, Astrea could just build the same stuff as you, and more of it. It's not like we're on 2 bases, and you can only choose to go Disruptors or Stargate, for example. No, he's got 85 probes! He can do whatever! Like, he's building Ruptors and DT Blink, while getting +2 at pretty much the same time. Showtime is gonna try to just hold. That might be his best option. If he can get to 200 supply, then maybe he can win a fight, or a couple fights, and turn it around. That seems to be the intent. Because there's no way he's gonna match Astrea on the field. He's just gonna lose out there. Astrea has had a tendency to overbuild probes. He's doing it again. He's gonna be at 90 probes. Which means his actual maxed out army supply is relatively low. Of course, he can just keep throwing units at it. He only has 6 gates. That is not remotely enough gateways. He's building... Oh, he just finished 2 more. That'll be 8. Still not enough. He needs like 15 gates. 3,500 minerals. 3,600 minerals and 1,100 gas a minute. Oh my god. Well, Disruptor shot. Another Ruptor. Blunked on. Bit of an awkward pathing. DTs spotted on the left flank. They're just more Ruptors. Blinks away. Eats the shot with the Immortal and the Sentries. Astrea closing in. He's cleaving his way through the base. The shields are down. And he's just target fire. He doesn't care. Down it goes. Showtime back to 3. And Astrea, this is just not a good fight on paper for Astrea, but he can trade at almost a 2-to-1 disadvantage now. Still some Stalkers trying to zone out a Prism in the main. So we gotta be careful with those Raptors. Astrea warps in a full round, which is only 8. Showtime optimistic he could move up, but it ain't happening. Small counterattack here, but Disruptor shot. Oh, watch out. The Immortal barely able to scamper away in time. Astrea's at 97. Like, that's too... You've got too many probes. 90... This is actually a problem. He's got real problems. 97 probes means that Showtime's army supply is equal. Of course, when you have 5 Disruptors, that can change, but the Disruptors have not been landing. They just have... Oh, no. Such a dangerous game. He already blunked back. The Immortal's down. Another shot. Pushing him away. The fade away. Another one. Showtime is doing a great job of... Astrea is both doing a poor job of keeping his Ruptors alive, and Showtime is taking every opportunity to snipe them. So far, 5 Disruptors have been lost. Only 1 or 2 shots have even hit anything. And right now, Showtime has a higher army supply. Yeah, airball. Gets 1 Zealot. Another shot. Showtime looking to surround. How many gates? He's up to 12. In fact, Showtime, the wall is holding. Astrea, I think, was having some fun with it. Oh, well, that happened. The thing is, you play with your food for a little bit too long, then it's gonna get away. Showtime blinks out. He's now forced Astrea back. Firing, he's pre-firing a shot to where he thinks he'll blink. Of course, Astrea still has money in the bank. Showtime's maxed. DT blink is dangerous. Showtime is maxed out. Astrea still has 97 probes. Parting the Red Sea. More attempts at blinking. That shot hits. Another beautiful blink on the side. Showtime is so good. But he just doesn't have enough blink cooldowns. Everyone's filing in. Somehow every disruptor's on cooldown. There's nothing to warp in nearby here. There's still a bunch of DTs in the back of the base. Astrea, I don't even know where like half the DTs are. They don't know where they're going. The problem is, Showtime can't defend every front. Astrea can lose continually twice as much gas, but it doesn't matter. Another Nexus down. He can outspend, okay? It doesn't matter how efficient you are, Showtime. Astrea has the budget to bury you. And bury he is. For the last 10 minutes. A massive income lead for the American. And the volleys are strong. He chunks up another group of stalkers. He's gonna lose more disruptors. Oh my. The disruptors keep wandering into the stalkers. Alright, that disruptor. Oh, wow. Oh, how demoralizing. We saw it, the writing was on the wall. The disruptors is... Wait, were there DTs in the base? What was that? What a fight. It doesn't really matter. Oh. There's not... Nope. It just... He just taps it out. Astrea just buries him economically. Each game got less efficient for Astrea. And more decisive. Oh, the DT timing, disgusting. The wall. I mean, how cliche is it? A few special operatives slip through and do critical damage, weakening the defenses for the army to overwhelm, despite the heroics of a few brave souls, which is all Showtime could bring to bear. A cliche, a dramatic battle, but a decisive one in favor of Astrea, taking it 3-1. I hope you guys enjoyed. You'll hopefully enjoyed this one as well. Jimmy, put the thing up. That right? No, not them. The thing. Thank you. I hope I made your day a little bit better. Hope I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Good luck, have fun. Stay chill.